That was a hell of a movie. Okay, so before we do get started, thank you for stopping by if you're watching this live. If you aren't, then it's going to be recorded. If you like these kind of videos, please subscribe. If you want more videos like this, I've been wanting to do movie reviews for a long time because I pay attention to a lot of details in the movies, and I don't hold back on certain movies. I mean, even if it's popular movies like Star Wars, I will not hold back. I had a lot to say, and I wish I was doing reviews at the time the most recent Star Wars came out. Uh, I had a lot to say about that movie. I don't give a shit how popular it is. They had a lot of problems with that movie that I wish I could have stated. But anyway, we're here to talk about Avengers Infinity Wars. Now, I will explain my overall experience with the movies in three different sections, and I'll veer off a little bit in each section with comparisons to other movies so you guys have an idea of where my head is at in terms of this movie. Okay, so the first section will be music. Music is important in a movie, especially a movie like this. You want the music to be correct during certain scenes. When it's emotional, you want it to feel emotional. You want to feel that emotion when certain things are going on in the movie, and the music conveys that. So if the music is off, it can throw the movie off, and your overall experience can be altered based off of that alone. I'll give you examples. Hans Zimmer is one of my favorite music composers. He's scored movies like Man of Steel, great soundtrack, and movies like Inception, great soundtrack. The reason why is because the movie conveys a certain epicness during scenes. Like the music is supposed to be what it is during that scene, and it's not off, because if it's off, the scene gets thrown off. So when it comes to the music for Infinity Wars, it's not extremely epic. Not to say that that threw off my overall experience. It did not. It was good enough. It wasn't great like in Man of Steel. Man of Steel, the music was perfect. I can go back and listen to the Man of Steel soundtrack uh, any day and not have a problem with listening to it, because that's how good the music was. Even for Inception, the score for Inception was freaking awesome. I think Hans Zimmer's also scored the Dark Knight trilogy by Christopher Nolan, the Batman series. He did that. The music was okay for that one. I can't go back and listen to it and then really enjoy it. So overall, the music for Infinity War was cool. It didn't give me chills like Man of Steel did. The music was cool. It did its job, but it wasn't something that I'm gonna remember by. I never really cared for the Avengers theme. It's okay. Like I said, it's okay. It's not epic. Okay, so the music for me overall was cool, not great, but it did what it was supposed to do during certain scenes. Okay, so if you guys get where I'm going with that, it was good. It wasn't great. It was okay. Okay, so the second section is pacing, and then the third section will be the overall plot, character development, things like that. Also very important. Now these three things to me are very important in movies. Okay, so the second, pacing. Okay, pacing can really ruin a movie if it's off. So the pacing with this movie was good. Okay, it wasn't super slow. It wasn't super fast. It was just right for me. The action was the action was freaking good. Okay, the action was good, which is enough to those slower parts where they're going through the story, they're doing the talking. The action itself made up for any slow part that you guys may think is in the movie. So if there's a slow part, you're gonna think, well, shit, the fight that came after that or the fight before that, that satisfied you until you got to the next part. Okay, so pacing was excellent. Now, when you think about movies like there's something that just came out where people were saying it had Ryan Gosling. It was Blade Runner. Was it Blade Runner? Blade Runner. people said the pacing for that, and I saw it myself, which I don't mind slow movies. The music for Blade Runner was also excellent. But the pacing, I can agree with some people. It was very slow. There was a lot of parts in Blade Runner where they did a lot of walking. And it's just like, dude, we don't need to see you walk all the way to your next destination. You get what I'm saying? We didn't need to see that. And in terms of pacing, that's a good idea because it was a popular movie last year. That's a good idea of what slow pacing is. Fast pacing could be, I guess, I can't think of any fast paced movies where people just like things happen too quick. Uh, like video game movies or any comic book movie where they're rushing through the origin story, that's too fast paced. They rush through the person getting their powers and to them becoming the superhero or vigilante. You get what I'm saying? Rush stories like that. Infinity Wars was not that. It was paced pretty damn good. And it's about 2.5 hours long. So you have to have some good pacing for that. Matter of fact, it's 2.5 hours long. I'm sure before they edited stuff out, it was way longer than that. But to get the correct pacing, they had to edit certain things out that they didn't believe that was needed. So the pacing was excellent in this movie. Okay, so the third section would be character development. Now, if you can see my title, I put Almighty Thanos. Now, if you've been keeping up with this movie, the director said that this was going to be a Thanos movie. I wouldn't say it's an origin story for Thanos. They give you some insight into his background. Now, without spoiling it, it's not the same as the comics. Why I say that is his motives are different. So his origin story remains intact. His motives are different. And if you look at the past movies, that's because hell or the woman that he loves, that he does it for, does not really exist within this universe unless it was hell. And, you know, as far as we know, because they don't explain it in this movie, as far as we know, she's dead. Surtur killed her in Ragnarok at the end. Sorry if I spoiled that for you. I mean, you shouldn't be watching this anyway if you haven't seen Ragnarok, because that's a big part of what leads into this movie. Okay, so character development on Thanos' part, they give him a story. He has some character. He's just not like a mad titan like he is in the comics. He has an emotional side. He has love for a certain character. He has good development. He's polished, and you feel for him as well. But he does have a sound motive. It's not as, it's a little bit more vague than it was in the comic books. So I'm not gonna spoil anything, but his motives aren't as strong as they were in the comics. So Thanos is good. I mean, and they didn't hold back on his power. Like in the comic books, he's very strong. In the movies, they've been kind of scared. If you look at Hulk, they've been kind of scared on showing Hulk's full potential. Because if you look at World Breaker Hulk, motherfucker strong. Okay, he's strong, right? With Thanos, they didn't hold nothing back. He's pretty damn strong. Now, part of Thanos' origin story, his people, the Titans, the race that he is a part of. Now, I'm not I'm not an expert on Thanos, but as far as I've researched over the last couple years, when, knowing that the movies was leading up to the ultimate fight against Thanos, I did a little bit of research. What they don't kind of explain is why Thanos is as strong as he is. It's not because his race naturally is built like him. One thing about Thanos is he was born with a rare skin condition. I believe somebody can correct me in the comments, if you will, if you're more of an expert than I am. But his race is not purple. That's a condition that he developed as an infant. His strength comes from state of the art. I guess his people were very, very advanced. He has, like I said, this is all in the comics. This is I'm not discussing the movie. I'm just kind of giving you some background on Thanos. He enhances himself, which is why he's so strong. It's not his body that's able to deal with the power of the Infinity Stones. Obviously, that is the gauntlet. The gauntlet is what's able to harness it. Now, a powerful being is in fact needed to wield the gauntlet itself, okay? But through his enhancements, which if they are keeping intact with that part of his origin, because they didn't go over any of that, okay? His origin was a little vague in the movie. Like I said, he has a well-polished story, but it's a little bit more vague in the movie. But his abilities that he obtained through enhancing himself is the only reason why he's able to wield that gauntlet. Because no normal being could just put on a gauntlet and harness. The gauntlet is used to harness the power, but you still need to be a worthy wielder of the gauntlet. Nobody can just put it on. Well, that's the way they make it kind of seem in the movie, I believe. I'm not too up to date on what's needed to wield the gauntlet. So Thanos had a good story. The movie revolved around him, of course, and it was more of a Thanos movie. Now, don't get me wrong, it's 2.5 hours, so you see a lot of everybody else. It just veers off into a couple different groups in the movie, and it goes back and forth. Everybody has their own little plot line that eventually intertwine. But it's very much a Thanos origin story. You see where he's coming from. You see his motives, and it's emotional. It's the whole entire movie have your emotions like, what the people get bodied. They didn't hold back. No, you guys was thinking Disney ain't gonna do it. They not bold enough. No, they was bold enough. They got to it. Thanos got to it with that gauntlet. Oh, okay. And the fights. Now I'm gonna get to the fights. Yes. If you was hyped about the movie, I'm hoping I'm getting you a little bit more hyped. There was some fighting, okay? They got down. There was some bodies. Okay? It happened. It went down. You guys should be excited. If you didn't get your ticket for tonight and you missed it, it's cool. Hopefully I'm getting you a little bit more hyped, okay? Because I've been wanting to let out this energy, This movie gave me a goddamn headache. It was long, and it was just like, wow. It was just like, damn, is this really happening? They didn't hold back, okay? This movie, I think it's going to satisfy people big time. Now, I will say this. Biggest fucking cliffhanger in the history of cliffhangers ever. Biggest. I'm not joking. And you'll know why I say this is the biggest cliffhanger, okay? Okay, so I've covered the music, the pacing, and the plot of the story. Hopefully I didn't veer off too much. Now, I'm going to discuss one more thing, one of my biggest gripes with the movie. If you're not going to hold back on Thanos, don't hold back on the other characters. And one of the biggest gripes I had in this movie, Hulk. I'm not going to go any further, but why isn't my brother getting that much room to shine? You know what I'm saying? Where I'm going with this, think of the last 2 Star Wars movies. Always got to make a comparison, okay? What's his face? The first director of Force Awakens, right? The beginning of the new Star Wars trilogy. He had a different vision in mind of Star Wars, okay? They switched directors. They were given, each movie was given a different director. The second director, completely different vision. Their visions conflicted. I feel like the vision for Hulk is very conflicted. One movie they want to make Hulk strong, and in the other movie they want to hold him back. I don't know why they're doing that. It's pissing me off because Hulk is one of my favorite characters. And I feel like the continuity of his character is off, and it's really pissing me off. I know I'm not the only person who's going to say this after this movie, but stop messing with his character. They went from changing the actor to changing Hulk himself and his his personality. It's just like, dude, stick with one Hulk, please. I'm getting tired of it, and I wish we would have saw more of Hulk. And I'm not gonna spoil it. I hope that doesn't put anybody down because there's still a lot of action to go around. But Hulk let down. Okay. One of my biggest gripes, which will probably keep me from rating this a 10 out of 10. Great movie, but that was, along with the music, that was one of my biggest gripes that possibly lowered it to a 9. Awesome movie. Do not get me wrong. Be hyped about it because the fighting was freaking awesome. But Hulk and the music would bring it down to a 9. I wish the music was a little bit more epic, and I wish they would figure out what the hell they want to do with Hulk. Even with the stones, like, you can't make Hulk too overpowered. So stop thinking that you can do that. I mean, unless it's World Breaker Hulk, still, Thanos is a force to be reckoned with when he has the gauntlet. You get what I'm saying? So holding back on the Hulk for whatever reason, it doesn't make sense. So I wish they would figure out what he's going to be, because they need to stop messing with his character in general within the MCU. Other than that, subscribe for more videos. I need more people to keep supporting your boy, because that's what motivates me. I've been wanting to do movie reviews forever. I really pay attention to a lot of stuff. I'm very knowledgeable on these things. But hopefully I hyped y'all up. Y'all have a reason to be hyped, because this movie was not a letdown. They didn't hold back on Thanos. Thanos was catching bodies. I'm sorry, I might have yelled too loud. Man, yes. Be happy for this movie. Be excited for this movie. Be hyped for this movie, because it was great. Okay? Leave comments in the comment section. I'll answer as best as I can. My thoughts on the movie, of course, take in consideration that people may be looking at the comments. Try not to spoil it if you've already seen the movie. Subscribe for more stuff like this. Hopefully I didn't spoil anything for some people. I really had to get that last part out because it was really bugging the shit out of me. So I'm sorry if that spoiled anything, let anybody down. Like I said, there's no reason to be let down. There was still a lot of whoopings going around. Good fighting, good action. Music was decent. Pacing was excellent. Just how they combined everything was excellent. Hopefully you guys found this review a little helpful. Gave you a reason to be a little bit more hyped when you go to the movies tomorrow, get your tickets tomorrow, or even during this week. Hurry up and go see it, so people don't spoil it for you, because I hate for you to have less excitement and less hype when you go into the movie. Be hyped, because it was excellent. Okay, you guys have a good night, and thanks for stopping by. And if you didn't, no worries. View my recording. I need some views too. Shit. You get what I'm saying? Shit.